a story of a Moors family. In the salt air of Conception Bay on Newfoundland's east coast is where the wind whispered tales of seafaring ambition. This is the story of a family business that weathered storms, fires, and even a world war to become a cornerstone of the island's economy. It's where the enterprising spirit of two brothers unfolded, William and John Moors, better known in the fishing industry as W&J Moors Limited. It all began in 1896 when William and John Moors, fishermen from freshwater Carbonear, who had inherited their fishing skills from their Dorset ancestors, started buying fish from local fishermen of freshwater and then selling it to other dealers. Little did they know that this modest venture would grow into a fishing empire. As the fishing industry cast its nets wider, so did William and John Moors. In later years, they embraced the revolutionary concept of fresh frozen fish, departing from traditional salted fish. In their bustling fish plant, workers meticulously prepared cod, haddock, and flounder for export. In 1917, the larger town of Carbonear beckoned. The Moors brothers moved their operations. They purchased the premises of William Bemister for $2,750. With the help of William's four sons, Silas, Graham, John, and William, they erected a larger fish processing facility and installed modern freezing equipment. The company prospered and expanded into the export market. Their catch reached beyond local tables and sailed to distant markets. By this time, W&J Moors had woven themselves into the lives of the people of Conception Bay. Families depended on its steady employment, with their livelihoods entwined with the rise and falls of the fishing seasons. William and John Moors, once strangers to them all, now stood as respected figures with their legacy etched in the lives of its employees. But success was not without its challenges. Shortly after purchasing property in Carbonear from John Duff in 1929, disaster struck when a major fire ravaged W&J Moors' premises. But that was only the start for other disasters. Just 2 years later, fire resurfaced, devouring their property and business. For many years, W&J Moors operated a fleet of banking schooners, and some of these vessels had their own tales to tell. The Georgina was torpedoed in the early years of World War I, but the crew was saved when a German U-boat captain surfaced and ordered them to abandon ship before sinking it. Then, during World War II, the Lincoln had been chartered by the famous American aviator Eddie Rickenbacker for a trip to Musgrave Harbor on Newfoundland's northeast coast near Gander. But when the vessel sailed outside of the St. John's Narrows, the boat was cut in two and sunk by a small Allied gunboat. Luckily, the crew survived the attack. Years later, financial troubles came about caused by the 3-year Spanish Civil War of 1936 to 1939. At that time, W&J Moores sold fish on consignment to Spanish agents. Roughly $100,000 was stalled in England, trapped by banks unwilling to advance credit. The agents were reputable, but the banks refused to advance credit on the money held in Spain. It was Silas Moores who saved the day. He held out for a higher conversion rate of the pound sterling, keeping the money in England until the rate improved. This risky move paid off, and the company survived its biggest challenges. W&J Moores excelled once again and was incorporated on November 30th, 1948. By around this time, William's son, Silas, eventually left the company but retained his position on the board. He began a new career on a frozen fish venture under Northeastern Fish Industries in nearby Harbor Grace. He helped build the Harbor Grace Stadium that opened in 1958. Silas Moores died in July 1962. The stadium was later named the S.W. Moores Memorial Stadium in his honor.
Just imagine a life with us together, we two. Just imagine all of our dreams coming true.
Graham Moores took over the interest from the remaining partners of W&J Moores Limited. In 1955, he built a department store on Water Street, Carbonear. It opened on July 2nd of that year. A contributor to the Evening Telegram wrote this of the grand opening. The first 200 customers were given a pair of nylons. The spacious shop was crowded all day and until closing hour. It was a delight to shop in such a well-laid-out building. Its display windows are outstanding, and are the fixtures and showcases, and of course, the stock is of the best and latest design. We say without fear of contradiction that it is equal in design, if not in size, to anything in the Dominion, and we bespeak for it a banner position in the business life of our town.
Just imagine.
Graham Moores died 10 years later in 1965. Control was passed on to his son Graham. It is likely the opening of a shopping mall in Carbonear impacted business on Water Street. The Moores department store eventually closed, as did other stores. The fish stores were torn down. The business life of W&J Moores wasn't easy in a time of war and 2 major fires, but their insistence on succeeding provided proof of them becoming wealthy merchants, and it all started in a little place called Freshwater.